Welcome to the Workamper Show, a podcast devoted to helping you discover how to finance your RV travel dreams. I'm Steve Anderson, the president of Workamper News. Each one of our episodes will either introduce you to people who are already living the RV lifestyle or to opportunities to work short-term jobs. You'll also learn how to hit the road the right way and make the most of every opportunity. Now let's turn over today's show to your host, Greg Gerber.
Thank you, Steve. For today's show, we're going to change things up a bit and talk about equipment that can enhance the RV lifestyle. We'll be speaking with the founders of TechnoRV.com. This episode is sponsored by the National RV Training Academy in Athens, Texas. The Academy's one-week live training or home study course will teach you everything you need to know to fix about 80% of the problems people experience with their RVs. You can also sign up for additional training to become an RV inspector, campground technician, or to provide mobile RV service. For more information, visit www.nrvta.com. A lot of people seek to become work campers when they decide to pursue the RV lifestyle. But some people start businesses and others figure out ways to bring a current business with them on the road. Eric and Tami Johnson opted to buy an existing business and use that to finance their travel dreams. They still qualify as work campers because they're living and working from their RVs. They explain why buying an existing business was the best choice for them because they knew it would provide cash flow from day one. They own an online retail business but describe how they manage staff and maintain a warehouse of products wherever they are. They talk about some of the challenges in running a business from the road and how they overcame those challenges. The Johnsons talk about Techno-RV and the ways it can help new and experienced RVers by educating people on various categories of products while providing reviews of specific items. They even recommend a few of their favorite essential products. I found their story to be very interesting, and I think you will too. So please welcome Eric and Tami Johnson, the owners of TechnoRV.com. Thanks, Eric and Tami. I really appreciate you taking some time from your very busy schedule and work environment to come here and talk to us about how to run a business from your RV. Tell us a little bit about the Johnsons and what TechnoRV is all about.
Well, first of all, thanks for having us on the podcast here. Happy to be here. And so we are Eric and Tami Johnson. We are full-time RVers. In fact, we have our 5-year full-time anniversary coming up here in about 30 days, so we're pretty excited about that. And we own a company called TechnoRV. It's a website, TechnoRV.com, and we sell technology products to RVers. And our business model is really based around us being full-time RVers, testing all of the products that we actually sell, being kind of the experts on those products, and being able to present that information to RVers that may be looking into these different types of products, and then giving them great customer service after the sale. That's kind of what we've built our business on and what we continue to do.
Is most of your business done online, or are you attending a lot of shows?
I would say we're probably 90% online sales, but we do still attend RV shows for a lot of different reasons. We get good feedback from customers and find out what people are looking for, maybe what they would like to see us carry, maybe things they want to give feedback for our current products. We also use it just for marketing and doing collecting emails and just getting our name out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and right when we kind of started this, we were more heavy on the show side. In fact, it was probably 80-20 on the show side in the beginning, but we really focused on the internet website of things and our website, and really making a lot of changes to that and doing things to boost the sales to that. And to Tami's point, we've got that number kind of flipped now to where really the majority of our sales are online now.
Mm-hmm. And so how long ago did you start the business?
So actually, TechnoRV, we actually bought the business.
Okay.
This was an existing business, and the business is about 10 years old now, and we bought it about...
in April 2015.
Yeah, so whatever that is, 4.5 years, I guess, is what we're looking at there. And And so, yeah, we basically bought it, which is a whole different way of looking at things for people that are looking at making money on the road. A lot of people just tend to think about, hey, what can I do? What can I come up with? And while we went through that same thought process, what we landed on is, hey, let's look for businesses that are for sale that already kind of have some procedures in place and maybe have a little bit of branding working in their favor. And let's try and take that and make something, bigger than what it may be at the time. And so that's what we did. And, we're about 4.5 years in now.
Well, that's a really unique idea, or a good idea, I should say, because when you look at starting a business from scratch, you've got all of that time and effort that you put in, sweat equity, I guess is what you would call it, to develop the business, develop a customer list, to get the product out there, to get people familiar with you. And there is a cost in lost opportunity when you do it that way versus buying an existing business. So that's a great idea. And
yeah, we tell people that it's easier to get something or keep something in motion than it is to get it in motion.
Right.
And so, if you think about it, it's if something's already kind of got a basis of a business, again, branding, potentially some processes and things like that. That's just things that you don't have to do in the beginning. And that worked well for us.
How did you evaluate the company, or what kind of company were you looking for when you were evaluating businesses, or did this just sort of fall into your lap?
No, it didn't fall in our lap. We were actually actively looking at online. There's brokers that host websites for sale and so forth. And we were looking for ones that could be run remote, meaning no brick and mortar. We did not want a physical location. We were looking for things that if there was an inventory and if it was like what we ended up with, a business that sells products, that there was something in place where we could manage inventory from the road. So these were just some of the things we were looking at, but it was mainly, could we do it from the road? We didn't want anything that was going to cause us to rethink our future plans, which was to travel and be out,
Yeah, and ideally, I guess, running a business from the road, you wouldn't think of that the ideal business would be something that holds inventory. And the truth is, it's probably not, that ideal. But, we have managed to work that out. In the beginning, we just used a warehousing company. It's called Smart Warehouse.
Which the previous owner already had set up, which was nice. Yeah,
because we didn't want to be have orders coming in, us on the road and running around trying to find a UPS store. So we had Smart Warehouse was doing it for a period of time for us. And, of course, there's all kinds of charges and fees to do that. And we decided we wanted more control over that. And so we brought that, in-house, which, again, that opens up a whole other set of issues to deal with, and that you need to have, of course, now we need an employee. Now we need a place to put inventory. And since then we've grown a great deal, and now we have, our own warehouse space. We have, several employees that warehouse for us every day. And so that's where it's working out great now. But in the beginning, it was,
we didn't want to be tied down when we were looking for the business. So that was something we considered, which was already in place. So it worked well.
Mm-hmm. So what you did is you developed a kind of a virtual assistant, so to speak, who probably lives in Mobile, where the warehouse is located, and the orders come in and that person is just responsible for fulfilling it?
That is what we did at the beginning, yes. We had a shipping program that was integrated into the website. So when an order came in, they had access to the shipping program, and they had the inventory, and they fulfilled orders for us, yes.
Okay. Yeah, so we still track the inventory, placed all the orders ourselves, and, kept up with that end of things. But just the physical putting products in a box, taping it up, making sure it gets out the door, we had somebody doing that pretty early on when we took over. We made that change, and again, we wanted more control because we wanted to start doing different bundles and packages and things like that. And you really can't do that with a third-party warehouser because they're not gonna really understand your product like that.
Right. If you want to put in a couple of flyers or something like that to announcing some specials that are coming up or whatever you've got going on, that's harder to get those third-party people to do that. So you decided then to hire somebody, and they're based out of Mobile?
Correct. Yeah. That's kind of how that started out. And in the beginning, it was a family member that did it out of their house.
Oh.
And then so that worked out really well. And but as we began to grow, we realized that we needed more space. We needed more labor to make it happen. I knew we were in trouble when they sent me a picture one day of an 18-wheeler sitting out in front of their house delivering product. And I was like, okay, things have kind of gotten out of hand here. We need a bigger space. So from there, that's when we transitioned into our own office.
Okay.
But for what Eric, as he was saying, before we went to the office, though, we actually had already had a second employee hired that was doing calls and answering the phones for us during the day. So we, at one point in the business, had one person working from their house doing shipping and another person working from their house, and it was very separate. And that's kind of what led us to say we need everybody kind of together. It just runs a lot better if customer support can be right there talking to the person shipping and making decisions. And so we actually had 2 remote employees at separate locations before we took it in-house to one our office now.
Okay. So you have one location now with the employees working out of that location, and it still affords you the opportunity to travel and do some cool things?
Yeah. We always said, we kind of built this business. We grew this business based on us being full-time RVers. And, the truth of the matter is, once the business kind of started to grow, there were many times that it may have just been better if we just stayed put. And we were like, you know what, that's not how we built this business. And so we're going to continue to do what we did to build the business, even as the business grows. So yeah, we're on the road, usually I would say 9-10 months a year. Yeah. And that is time spent. Some of it's going to RV shows. Some of it's just, hey, we're in a campground. And, people, we have Techno RV on our RV. Maybe people want to come by and talk to us. It's just us being out there for our customers. And we love it. And it does create some challenges on managing our office. But, because that's how we started things and we knew that's what we needed to continue to do, we just kind of battle through those things and make it work.
Okay. How do you promote the business? How do you get people to find you? I think you do a lot of stuff on YouTube, don't you?
We do. In the beginning, we really to increase traffic to the website, we would spend money for basically Google ads, and that was nice to get traffic. However, it wasn't always maybe the right customer. You spend a lot of money to get people to recognize your website. But we found that for free, we could do YouTube videos that were not travel videos, but informational videos about not just the product, but the topics surrounding our product to educate people that were maybe doing research on, hey, why do I need a tire pressure monitoring system? Well, we're going to tell you why you need one, and then, hey, by the way, you can get it at Techno RV, and we'd love to help you out. And YouTube was, free, and YouTube has become so popular as people, some people, that's their entertainment at night is just to go through YouTube videos, and those worked really well for us. So we've transitioned away from really paying for traffic through Google. RV shows were good for us as well, just to get our name out there and to, collect email addresses and just follow up with people and keep that name Techno RV in front of them on a regular basis through, monthly newsletters. But in the beginning, we paid for traffic mainly just because it's, you think, oh, my website's so great. We're going to take good care of customers, but nobody knows really who you are, and Google's not going to just stick you on the front page just because you think you're great,
Right.
So,
Uh-huh.
But yes, YouTube works well for us in the beginning.
Yeah.
Well, it works well now, but that was something we learned early.
Yeah, and our tagline for Techno RV is learn here, buy here, get support here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we stick with. So we write information guides to explain maybe a particular issue that is common for RVers and ways they can solve those problems. A lot of times these guides will really explain the product and how they work. It really takes a lot of the guesswork out of things for people looking for particular products. And then we give people a good buying experience because we've got a good back end on our website. We ship really fast because we took that in-house, and we know that's important for RVers that are moving around.
Right.
And then the support thing is, after the sale, we generally write our own instruction guide along with potential installation videos. We call it the Techno RV Learning Series. And so when somebody buys from us on one of those products, then they get an email with all this information to make sure. We just want to make sure they're successful with the product. And then we have people that'll answer the phone that we've trained that are super knowledgeable in our product. So, we figured if we kind of did things that way, which we consider is just kind of the right way to do business, that it would pay off. And it's not the cheapest way to run a business, by no means, but it's the way that we felt comfortable with running the business and felt like it was the right thing to do. And in the end, it's paid off because people have recognized that, we're going to be there to help them.
I was just thinking about the question. Another way, social media is a great thing, especially for the RV community, because they're very social-minded, because that's kind of how you keep community. We did do Facebook ads. You can, you don't even have to have a lot of people on your Facebook page to do it. It's not really about having a lot of followers or people that like your page, because you can pay and target RVers or target whatever it is you're selling and get your name out there as well to drive traffic to your website as well.
That's a great idea. I like this strategy, guys, because I see a lot of RVers who are starting a business on their own and they're trying to develop an audience. So they'll do product reviews and they'll review whatever it is, a widget A. And so they'll hold up widget A and talk about its features and benefits and where to buy it and all that kind of stuff. And they might get a commission off of that. But what you guys do is provide extra value on top of that, in which you are talking about not just widget A, but the entire category of similar products. And so people who are brand new to RVing might not know all the products that they need. They might know they've got a problem, but not know there's a solution. So you guys are educating as to why they need this type of product. And I think that's a great idea.
Well, I think that it's good that what's helped us to keep things into perspective is staying on the road, because as you probably know, once you start RVing for a while, you just kind of know certain things, and it's easy to forget that other people don't know these things that you consider just kind of routine. And so us being out on the road and seeing people in RV parks and just getting these questions coming into our site, it's a constant reminder that there's always somebody out there that needs this information that just seems routine to us.
That's right. I know I edited a lot of press releases for many, many years talking about how one product would help prevent or reduce porpoising on a motorhome. And I had no idea what that was until the first time I encountered it while driving a motorhome. And then it was like, holy smokes. Now I know why people want this kind of product. And so that's the kind of education that you're providing as well. And I think that's a great idea. Have you encountered any? Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that because we really haven't even talked about, the types of products that we even really deal with. And and a lot of it's like things that may make a trip safer or more efficient. Things like tire pressure monitoring systems, GPS units, electrical protection systems, Wi-Fi boosters, cellular boosters. This whole staying connected on the road thing is important for RVers, especially people that are wanting to stay connected on the road while working. And so that's just an example of a lot of things that we address and that we have information guides for.
Mm-hmm.
It is important to us for people to understand why they might need the product, or maybe why they don't need the product, or why they might want the product we sell, because in the end we don't want anybody buying anything they don't need. It just creates problems with they want to return it, or they felt like they, spent so much money they don't even use it. We want people to be happy with what they buy from us. So we would rather you be educated before you buy. Therefore, you're making a better decision, which will just make a better experience from beginning to end for us and the customer itself, themselves. So, making sure we pick the right product. It might not be the products that have the best margins for us. We maybe could have, picked a different brand where we make a lot more on that one product, but it might not be the quality that we want to stand behind. So we pass our decision making on the best experience and the best product, and it just has worked well to where people buy from us. But it's not about necessarily highest margins and just that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Have you encountered any challenges running a business on the road?
No.
No, none at all.
Always perfect.
What's some of the most important or biggest ones?
You know what? I would say for me, it has been just that. Trying to run a business on the road when we have employees and a location that is not where we're at. And so, there's just a lot of challenges with that, with dealing with our suppliers, dealing with, employees, dealing with inventory issues. All that would be a lot easier to deal with if we just stayed in Mobile, Alabama at our office every day. So I know that's kind of broad, but it's really all of it's a little bit more difficult when you're on the road.
But they have programs. I mean, we have programs where we monitor things from a distance, and we more so than we would do if we were just staying in the same office, whether it means recording all phone calls or sending copies of all the chats. And we keep an eye on everything since we can't be there to do it in person. But my answer is actually a little different than Eric's, because he does do the management of employees. Mine is the structure of it. So consistency, when you go into an office and you work somewhere, your desk is always the same, and you kind of have your routine, and you do this and this, and it's, at least that's how I remember it being when I did work in an office. And because you're moving so much, and because, your scenery changes and you want to try out different things and visit places, keeping a consistent structure or schedule or doing anything consistently, I find that more challenging, because every week is different, and you have to deal with more distractions. Mm-hmm. So I find that more challenging.
How do you maintain a good marriage and good working relationship? A, as business owners working side by side, and B, working side by side within 400 square feet.
Well, always from the beginning, we have had very separate areas in the business to deal with. So we have very clear lines. We know each other's strengths, and from the beginning, we kind of divided things up that way. So there's rarely do we have things that overlap to where we have to rely on the other person, I guess. So we don't have issues with, us saying, hey, you've got to do this right now because I'm doing it right now. So we don't have that issue. But we get along, and I think the biggest challenge is knowing when to turn off work. That is the challenge.
Yes.
Because we'll, date night, we'll be like, okay, we're not talking about work tonight. And we'll be, sitting at dinner for, 5 minutes, and we'll be like, I just want to talk about this one thing, and then we cannot talk about it. So that is a challenge on actually being able to walk away from it and not talk about it. But we love it. We enjoy it. It's something fun. It actually helps us work together as a team, and I think it's actually added to our relationship and not done the opposite.
Yeah, I'd agree. I mean, the truth of the matter is just what she said there at the end. We love doing what we're doing. We love working with our business. We love the travel that it affords us to be able to do. We do love being around each other, but we knew that anyway, So I think that's it. I think it's the fact that we love what we're doing, and having clearly defined roles. I think that's probably what's helped us the most.
And it's fun because we have a common goal. I mean, we both, like I said, the teamwork, it makes you, yes, I mean, there's obviously stressor points, and if you're going through a decision and, but all in all, we have a common goal. So it's not like one of us is having to work late in the night for something and then the other person's getting up. We pretty much follow the same schedule, and we have a common goal. So
Yeah.
I see it as a positive.
And we do try and separate things out. Like if like from a marital standpoint, like we're irritated with each other or something, then, whenever it comes time to then, transition into, work, we've done pretty good at being adult about it, and just
Right.
saying, all right, we got to drop that. We got some decisions to make. And, so, I don't know that, I've got necessarily the answer for people on that, on how we do that. We just do it and it works out.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a very good point, because communication is key to any marriage, but communication is essential in a business, so it is doubly as important, doubly as essential in running a business from your RV.
And like I said, because we divide things, like there are decisions that Eric can make in the business, even though we're 50-50 in the business, that he doesn't have to clear by me. We don't have to have meetings. I can do the same, only when we have to maybe make a decision together. But even then, I just will defer. Generally, one of us will just defer. That's your area, whatever you decide. So, it's that split makes it easier for decision making and who kind of takes the last word in it.
Right. How do you guys handle things on the road like mail, banking, and insurance and things like that? Is it all done online?
I am as paper-free as can possibly be. So, yes, I don't even know the last time I went into a bank.
We're fortunate with the mail thing,
Right.
because we have an office, so everything just goes there. And then, I don't know, once every other week or something, we just have them box up all of our mail and just send it to maybe a campground that we're at or something. So that part's been pretty easy. The banking, we haven't had any problems with that. I mean, that's just, we do it all online.
Everything can be done through an app and deposit checks through an app, and it's just so easy for me, to keep everything online, whether it's auto pay, whether it's easier to go paper free than you think.
And we decided early on that accounting wasn't our thing, and so we have a legit bookkeeper that handles like all of all the techno RV stuff. So anything along the business lines, we're pretty much just passing things off to them. Of course, we're highly engaged in it, but the day-to-day things that need to be managed as it relates to that. They handle that. And then if there's bigger decisions that need to be made from an accounting standpoint, then of course, we have an accountant with that same firm that we just have meetings with on the phone and, hash it out.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because of today's day and age, it's really not weird to do everything online. I mean, everything is so easy and developed. As a matter of fact, one of our kids once, when they were had an apartment they were looking at, made the comment that they didn't want to rent from this apartment because they had to mail a check in. They're like, I'm paying for my rent on an app. Absolutely. I mean, everything is just developed now into everything being done remote or online, or
Right.
It's not as hard, as you would think, I guess, if you're not used to doing that.
Yeah, I really can't think. I mean, I'm sitting here thinking about that question. I can't think of really any serious pain point of working on the road as it relates to that type thing.
No.
Mm-hmm. And this is a new development, really, when you think about it. You could not have done what you're doing today 10 years ago. It would not have been nearly as easy as it is today to be able to run a business or even live remotely like you do and still maintain a good income.
Right. Like you said, 10 years ago it wasn't like that. So it's really, I don't know the last time I wrote a check. I don't know. Everything's just digital now.
Well, a lot of the things we do are just like we're doing right now. You know what I mean? It's like, we're talking to you right now remotely. And, if we have things with our office that we need to do remotely, then, we can always do a video conference or chat or something like that. And we've had to learn a lot of those things along the way, but at the end of the day, it's pretty easy.
If people wanted more information about Techno RV, where could they find it?
Oh my goodness, you can reach us almost anyway. Let's see. Our website is technorv.com. As a customer, you can chat, you can email us at info@technorv.com. We have a Facebook page. We take Messenger. We communicate with people through that. We have, help me out here, Eric.
Well, we're on YouTube, so a lot of people will respond to things on YouTube and ask us questions. So
is that a channel? Is that a channel on YouTube?
It is. The channel is TechnoRV. It's youtube.com/TechnoRV. So we're not hard to get in touch with. So it's and we're happy to talk to people in any way that's comfortable to them to reach out.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you so much for taking your time to talk to us today. I think it'll be very encouraging and inspiring to other people who are looking at the RV lifestyle but not right sure how they can make it work for them financially. And this idea of running a business from their RV and buying an existing business and adapting it for mobile use, that's sound advice. So thank you very much.
It's always good talking to you, Greg. Thanks for having us.
I first bumped into Eric and Tami Johnson at the RV show in Florida. Their kids were leaving the nest and venturing out into the big world. That opened the door for the Johnsons to live a dream they had shared for many years. I found that people love technology but are often confused by the various products, and they don't fully understand how to take advantage of all the features and benefits those products offer. Plus, they are often confused why one product may cost significantly more than the much less expensive knockoff. That's where TechnoRV becomes a valuable ally in helping people enjoy the RV lifestyle. Eric and Tami can explain how the products work and why one product is often better than the other in doing what you'd want it to do. I remember the first product I bought from them. It was a dash camera. I was considering a different, more expensive model, but they convinced me that a less expensive alternative would do the job I was looking for it to do. A few years later, they really convinced me to spend a few extra dollars for a top-of-the-line surge protector for my motorhome. It was an easy sell after they showed me why that particular model worked better to protect the technology I was traveling with. In this interview, the Johnsons opened my eyes to the advantages of buying an existing business rather than starting a new one. Eric was right in explaining that it's much easier to maintain a business that was already in motion versus trying to get a new business into motion. Their advice on promoting a business was helpful, as were their suggestions for overcoming challenges in ordering and shipping products, managing staff, and handling day-to-day tasks like banking and email. I'd encourage anyone to learn more about the Johnsons and their company by visiting www.technorv.com. Whether it is running a business from your RV or working short-term jobs for a variety of employers, Workamper News can give you information to help you plan a course to live your dream and get you on the road faster than you thought possible. For more information about opportunities to live, work, and play in your RV, visit www.workampernews.com. This episode is sponsored by the National RV Training Academy in Athens, Texas. The Academy's one-week live training or home study course will teach you everything you need to know to fix about 80% of the problems people experience with their RVs. You can also sign up for additional training to become an RV inspector, campground technician, or to provide mobile RV service. For more information, visit www.nrvta.com. That's all we have for today's show. Next time, we'll talk about opportunities to work for one of the most well-known, most heavily advertised travel-related companies in America. That would be Wall Drug in South Dakota. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on The Workamper Show.